My sister, she's so entitled. She's my stepsister, by the way. She's always wanted everything that I have. I'm smarter than her. I'm not bragging, it's just the facts because she doesn't apply herself. So when I get a new job, a very good paying job in a state away, she forces our parents to make them move her there just so she could be closer to me, but it was all a plan. The truth is she wanted to get with my boss just so she could have some pull on my life. And guys, you won't believe how far she got. I'm 27 female, was always ignored by my parents when I was younger. My father married my stepmother only a few months after my biological mother's passing. I was only 5 years old then, so growing up I considered my stepmother as a real mom. Now, if I think about it, how come my dad got married just a few months after my mother passed away, I ask. He should have mourned for it, right? Whatever I wanted to divert myself from with my overthinking nature, I have other things to worry about, which is why I'm here. Anyways, when my father got married, my stepmother brought my stepsister along with her, who was only 3 years younger than me. I was beyond happy when I saw her, but she was mean to me from the beginning. My sister, we'll call her Molly, is beyond spoiled by my parents. I was, on the other hand, only living with them to witness her getting spoiled by them. I get that my stepmom will be more drawn toward her own child than me, but my father was the same too. Apparently, his business was going through a loss when I was born, but revived again when my sister came into the house. However, I was too little to understand that and was too desperate to get similar treatments from them. If my sister barely got passing grades, my parents would shower her with expensive gifts. I thought I had to do better to get their attention, but that hardly happened. I was good at my studies and sports and also used to join in extracurricular activities. I used to get lots of prizes for winning games and everything, and my sister was jealous of that. And just to calm herself down, she would ask my parents to give the same thing to her. Without any complaints, they would do that. Birthdays were a big deal for her, as she would make this long list of presents she wanted to give it to my parents. And the worst thing about it is that my birthday is only a few days apart from hers. I would end up with 1 or 2 gifts, as my mom would say that they've spent lots of money on Molly's birthday. And as I'm older, well, I should be considerate of the situation. If I ever questioned the discrimination, they would suggest sharing the gifts from Molly. But instead of giving her presents, Molly would rather take mine. One time, I just wanted a digital watch for my birthday, and I was predicted. Molly took it. But then when she returned it to me, it was broken and completely unusable. I was crying and complaining about it to my mother and telling her to fix it, but she shunned me by saying the watch would be outdated in a few months and there was no need to waste money on it. We used to get the same amount of pocket money, but I had more because of the prize money from the games. I used to save that money, and being a nerd, I used to collect comic books. My sister, on the other hand, she only relied on the money my parents gave her, and she was addicted to shopping outside the budget. Frequently, she used to spend her pocket money within a week, and then she would be forced for me to lend her some. I actually tried my best not to give it to her because she never gave it back, but she would involve my parents and they would convince me to give it to her. They would say I'm older and have more money than her, and I should be considerate and act like an older sister. I hated being an older sister because they used this as an excuse, and my sister took it to full advantage. More than once, she got suspended for vandalizing the school property. Every time I thought my parents would be strict with her during the period she would be at home, but their strict attitude only lasted for hours. She would spend the suspension period using her phone, watching TV, or even shopping with my mom. One time, my parents got a call from school when I argued with the teacher about a subject, and the teacher apparently got offended. My mother grounded me for 2 weeks without phone or TV privileges, and the more she grew, the more expensive she became. My sister always got everything, whether it was new shoes or the latest iPhone. On my 16th birthday, I wanted a computer. My parents were kind enough to give me one, but my sister found out about it and started throwing a fit. She said, and I quote, "Why does she get everything that she wants?" Yeah, she said that and stormed off to her bedroom. On that year's birthday, she listed out the latest iPhone and a brand new MacBook for her birthday, but my parents felt so guilty for giving me a computer that they had to give her 2 MacBooks, one for home and one for school, and an iPhone's latest version with 1 terabyte of storage. Even after that, she said that they got the wrong color, and without wasting any time, they went back to the store and exchanged it. The evening of that birthday, she said technological devices are boring, and that very next morning they went to the store and bought her a new dress and shoes that matched. Whenever it was my birthday, she would beg to blow out the candles, open up my presents, and cut the cake. Whenever I tried protesting, they would say that I got enough attention in school, so I should give some to my sister as well. One time, my grandpa was shocked, and my grandparents are tough on this, so to say that they were shocked is an understatement. He told me to go to my room and he had to talk with my parents. I was happy that somebody was finding it wrong other than me. However, when my grandparents left, they came to my room and scolded me for making a scene in front of them. I was grounded for a week because of it. My sister got nothing, and my sister took more than the normal time to graduate middle school. And when she did, she was spoiled with gifts from, the parents. Bear in mind that they did not even come to my graduation because it's normal for me. When my sister got caught up on stage, my parents had paid. Yep, you heard that. People in the audience paid to cheer and clap for my sister to make her feel special. When I found out about this, I got mad and I left. My parents called me after a moment and snapped at how dare I leave that special day. Well, I snapped back at them and said that I was not getting paid to cheer her up. So why would I say that? I was too angry to mind them, and after I said that, she was quiet. I heard my dad get past the phone, and he scolded me for speaking to them like that. He also said that he heard the whole thing because my mom had the phone on speaker. I was having nothing of it. I told them I didn't care and hung up. I was grounded for 1 week for that. Well, when I was around 15, I lost hope of getting attention from my parents. I knew I had to work hard and build my own life. My parents made my journey hard. They sent my sister to a private school because she was slow and needed extra help. On the other side, they didn't even have enough money to save up for my regular college, and when I asked about it, they said that I'm the smart one, so they thought that I would not need any. I had taken out a student loan to complete my studies, and all I wanted was to get the heck out of this hellhole. Well, after about 2 years of saving, I moved out as fast as possible. I was doing a job alongside my studies, and the pay was not much, but I was happy with it. My grandparents were happy, and when they heard none of my parents wished me on my birthday, they arranged a party to celebrate for me. And just to make my parents mad, they invited them too. My grandparents were praising me nonstop and just saying all sorts of nice things. My sister was beyond jealous of the attention I was getting, and my parents were uncomfortable. With the whole situation, I was living every moment, and after the party, my parents asked me to go with them to our houses to stay the night. But I refused because I knew my sister would throw a blast at me and my parents would try their best to raise the flame. After a few days, my mother calls me to say that my sister also wanted to, move out of the home, and it was my fault that my grandparents' praise for me manipulated her into thinking that. She sounded concerned about it, and I sometimes feel miserable because Molly's only 3 years younger than me, but my parents act like she's 5 and I'm 40. Sure, I'm more mature than her, but that was also caused by them and their rude behavior towards me. They were so ignorant about me that I had to learn everything on my own. I had decided what was good for me and what was not. Also, they viewed my moving out as a disobedience and hardly ever called me to ask about how I was doing or if I needed any money. I only received calls from them when my sister was the primary topic of our conversation. However, first, today I got a good job that pays well and I have my own apartment. I'm happy that I'm completely independent and away from them. During college, I had to ask my father for some emergency money twice. It was only a few bucks, but he gave it to me, and he gave me lectures like why I decided to move out and live alone, if I was incapable of doing so, blah, blah, blah. I crushed myself by asking for his help, and I should have asked my friends or grandparents. What hurts me the most is that my sister also moved out just because she wanted to. She's not studying or doing a job, but still my dad is paying for her living. One time I tried to ask him why he discriminated against me with my sister, and he snapped, saying Molly is following my path because of me, his quote, sweet daughter, living alone away from them, and I hardly think that she's following my path, or else she would have focused on studying and all that. What she does is clear signs of jealousy, and my parents are so blinded by love that they failed to even notice it. It's none of my business, though. Well, recently I got a huge job opportunity in a different state. They were even providing an apartment to stay in, so I accepted it readily. And before leaving the state, I went to say goodbye to my parents and found out my dad's business is not going well. And they're calling me selfish for leaving them in this type of situation. I don't care about them, and mentally I cut ties with them a long time ago. Still, a part of me contemplates whether I should stay or leave them, and I wanted to know your opinions about it because I'm so darn confused. Update number 1. Hey guys, it's me. Sorry, it's been a month, and I took longer than I expected to give you an update. I was busy with moving, and yes, I moved to a new state for a better opportunity. Thank you for giving me advice. It helped me. Also, I tried to read all the comments I could, and I saw some of you accusing me of being jealous of my sister. I don't know from where you guys got that, because in my story I told you, properly what happened, and if you reread it again, you can tell that any time I acted, it was due to something my sister had ruined for me. For example, I acted rudely to my parents after they hired people to cheer her up at her graduation, but didn't even join mine at all. They said that they were too busy to attend, as they always used to get invitations from school for me. They failed to differentiate between other events and a graduation ceremony? Come on! But they clearly knew the value when it was my sister's turn. I don't usually act up in front of my parents because I just know the value I hold for them, but whenever I do act up, it's because my sister has crossed her limit of jealousy. However, I thought those were the limits that she could go to, but oh boy, I was wrong. What she's doing now is absolutely ridiculous. First of all, my parents were faking that they were about to go bankrupt, because when my sister heard that I got a better job and moved to another state, she also demanded that my parents send her to my state as well. And my parents did, see. My house and my parents' house were only about a half-hour drive away, so they came with my sister one day, uninvited, and made me arrange an apartment better than me. My sister told them that she was missing me and wanted to live near me while figuring out what she wanted to do with her life. Guys, she's almost 25 years of age and has never, ever done a single job in her entire existence. I know some people take time to figure out what they want to do in their lives, but she's never shown any interest in finding one or trying new things. However, recently, my grandparents were insistent on me holding a party for my new job. They're really happy that I fulfilled their dream, and they want me to be proud of myself, and they want to invite some of their friends and boast about me. Who was I to say no? The party was held at my grandparents' house, and many guests were invited there along with my parents and sister. I wasn't going to lie, I was the center of the party and felt good. Really good. All my relatives were praising me, and my grandparents acted like my own parents, and on the other hand, my parents and sister were sitting in the corner, sulking and hating every second of it. At one point, my sister got drunk and started throwing tantrums, calling me names. And just recently, my sister came to my office to apologize for creating a scene at the party. That was not normal behavior for her, but I'm curious why she would come to my office and not to my home. Her dress, it was so inappropriate for an office visit, and I never even saw her flirting with guys. I don't know if she's plotting something against me, but knowing how jealous she can get, I'm kind of worried for myself. Update number 2. You guys, another month has passed, and I told you that she was up to something because saying sorry to me is not her thing. She was up to something. She just wanted to be excused in it. Yeah, she wants an excuse to get into the office. Her way of dressing was evident for that, and when she witnessed that everybody was praising me at the party for my success, she was plotting it from the moment on. Unfortunately, I almost fell for it. Hey, by the way, she never visited me in the house. It was always at my office. I asked her once out of curiosity, and she said that she knew I didn't like her and thought that she was not welcome in my house, and it sounded genuine. So I got folded a bit. She used to visit me every other day, and she said that we misunderstood each other our whole life. And she said that she always just looked up to me and liked me and respected me. She also said that she wanted to hang out with me like friends. I know you guys were warning me that she was up to something, so keeping that in mind, I did not get out too much about my personal life, even though she insisted. She used to sit in the office and sometimes loiter around. After a few days, her motives were crystal clear when I caught her making out with my boss. I think that when she learned that my job is respectable, she made a plan to get a boyfriend in the same office who's higher rank. Her motives were crystal clear because when she successfully seduced my boss, she forgot who I was and ignored me even when I passed her. She looked at me like I was lower than her. Her desperation was clear when she held a party for her third, 1-month relationship. My boss looked genuinely in love with her, and my parents looked so proud. She was showing off her Burberry coat to everyone that, her boyfriend had gifted to her for their anniversary, and everybody was going gaga over it. I don't mind her acts, as she could do whatever she pleased, but I feel bad for the boyfriend because I'm almost certain that she's in a relationship with him for 2 reasons: money and showing off. But I'm in no place to give him a warning because I don't have any proof that it's just my instincts. I don't know what's going to happen to him in the future. However, I've also recently started dating a guy I met at my grandparents' party. He also lives near me and is very successful. I only went on 2 dates with him, so it's not official yet, but hey, I think we're going well together and I think it will last. Update number 3. It's been a few months and my sister's intentions are noticeable and petty that I almost feel bad for her for how little reach she has in her life. I was building my own life and minding my own beeswax until my father and sister forced me to react. As I said, it was clear that she was trying to show off her designer clothings and bags to make me feel jealous. She moved in with my boss and used to hold lavish parties every month for silly occasions. I could see that my boss was getting depressed day after day, and it was certain that my gold digger sister was really giving him a hard time. She was showing off her posh lifestyle, drawing herself into designer clothing, and when she didn't get any reaction out of me, she went overboard, which eventually caused her to drown. So, do you guys remember the guy that I was talking about seeing? We've been dating for a few months now, and we hit it off well and made it official. One day, my parents invited us to have dinner at their home. My sister and her boyfriend were invited as well, and I was sure my parents would make a comparison about who's got more money, but I told my boyfriend to be ready for the worst. It was evident that my income was not as evident as my boss's, but if my boyfriend and I put our salaries together, it's way more than what my boss earns. My sister was showing off her clothes and bags as usual, and she was trying to get a reaction out of me. When she realized we both collectively earned more than her boyfriend, she gets jealous in front of everyone and failed to keep her act in front of her boyfriend. She screams at him, saying why he was not capable of making more money. And she also insulted him by saying that she did not seduce an old man just to have average money. I tried to calm her down, knowing she was getting out of control, but she snapped at me and told me to shut up. She told me that she hated me the most and said that I ruined her life with my perfect little girl behavior. And she also accidentally spilled that she hit on my boss only to make me jealous as he earns much more money than me. As everybody predicted, he broke up with her basically on the spot and she was left penniless. My mom and dad scolded me for revealing our income, as I knew it would hurt her. I didn't really care. They asked me and I answered, what's wrong with that? However, to lift their daughter's mood, my parents held a huge party for her and they did not invite me as they didn't want to risk me taking all the thunder. I didn't mind it either. But at the party, everybody was talking about how she's dependent on someone and I'm the smart one. So what happened to her would never have happened to me as I'm not dependent on anybody. All of this was true, but they came to my house yesterday and said that I had to give her a job like mine. They're holding me accountable for her situation, and this is the way that it's going to get fixed, huh? I don't know what I should do. They don't know getting a job is hard, but they're not ready to listen. Please give me some suggestions because I desperately need it. Final update. Hey guys, so thank you for giving your opinions. Some of your comments were funny, and I had a good time reading those, and it's been 3 years since my last update. I'm sorry for taking that long, I just wanted to give you an update after a while. But I was mentally struggling, so I didn't open any social media for 2 years. However, some of you told me that my parents are not that smart and I should genuinely just give out the procedure because there's no way that she could pass the exams and learn anything. My sister did not go to college because she said that she was just busy living her life. So I gave out the whole process from college to university. It's been 3 years and she's still trying to clear her first exam. Many times she claims that I scammed them, But I told them it's how I got the job. Take it or leave it, buddy. She's living with my parents now, and all of them seem frustrated. Even my parents sometimes seem done with her. I'd stopped talking to them after a few months of the last update, and I even cut ties with them after one incident, which is why I was mentally struggling. Well, about a month before that New Year's party, my husband and I found out that I was pregnant. We were beyond excited by the news, and we decided the New Year's party would be a good time to announce it. We made shirts for everybody, and my grandparents were invited as well. All shirts were written with what they would be like, future grandpa, future this, future that, right? My grandparents were beyond happy that they would be able to meet their great-grandchildren. Surprisingly, my parents also looked happy. But then there was my sister. I knew she would be jealous, as it was her first reaction towards me for every single thing that she did not say anything and just stormed off. I felt bad for her, so I just approached her and told her that she was younger than me, and that after she passed her exams and got a job, she could build a life of her own. Yeah, note that it was after she asked about the procedure to get a job, and I was genuinely happy at that time that she was considering an actual way instead of some cheap trick. She just said that she hoped so too, and that was it. After a few days, she called me to have lunch with me and said that she wants to apologize for not being happy with the news. She sounded so mature that I agreed. But when I went to the restroom, one waitress told me that she saw my sister put a pill in my cold drink. I was so appalled, but kept my mouth shut. When I got back, my sisters head to the bathroom, so I switched our glasses, and after we finished, I was expecting something to happen because of the pill, but nothing did. I told my parents what she did, but they did not agree with my accusation. On the safe side, I told them I didn't want them around me anymore and told them she could not see my baby ever. And I told them if they ever tried to approach me, I would get a restraining order against them. Well, it's been 2 years since then. I haven't talked to them, and they still try to see my son. But my boyfriend threatened them to call the police, and for the last year, they have not bothered me anymore. And I'm living quite a peaceful life. But let me know, what would you have done?